So Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of Chelsea finishes 0-0 against Wolves. Stevie, it's hard to draw too many conclusions, just the one training session that he has had. But I suppose something we can talk about is the fact that Mason Mount and Timo Werner were left on the bench in his first lineup. Can you read anything into that?
No, I'm not with the Timo Werner one. I think with the Mount one, the fact that Ziyech and Havertz played where they did, which was inside. I think that's the way he will go for a spell. I think what Tuchel will do is get an 11 on the field, and I don't think he's going to change too much for 3 or 4 games. And so that means that I think Mason Mount might find himself coming off the bench. And actually, Mount today did more coming off the bench than I think Ziyech did in the whole game. So that'll give Tuchel food for thought. But as I said, you could clearly see that he had Chilwell running the left-hand side. He had Hudson-Odoi wide on the right. And as I said, Havertz and Ziyech, their job was to be the players that opened up Wolves. And it just didn't happen. They were very predictable, both of them, as were Chelsea. And really, there wasn't an awful lot of chances. Havertz could have stolen it at the end with a header from a corner, but it came off the defender's head. So not the best performance. Certainly the attitude was there, the work rate was there, the ability they have was missing. But then maybe that'll come the more they get used to each other, the way that Tuchel wants to play.
Would you have expected more chances with the possession that they had? And do you think that's something he'll be looking to work on?
Well, the way the game panned out, it was always going to be tough. Wolves, unlike the Wolves that joined the Premier League, pretty much were sat in the top of their box for most of this game, and that made it really difficult for Chelsea to actually create any clear chances. They had what, 5 shots at goal in the whole game, which really isn't good enough. But you got to give credit to Wolves. They're having a tough time, and they're going to do what they have to do to get points. And actually could have won it. Neto, I think it was through 1-on-1 with Mendy, put it over the bar. Or certainly it clipped the bar and went over. And I don't think Prudence was offside the way people were talking about. So it could have been a disaster, but in the end, Wolves got a point that they probably deserves for the defending.
As for Tuchel taking the job on halfway through the season, as he has, does that give him any excuses? Or with the talent that he does have, is he expected a top 4 finish?
I think it depends what his job is. If his job is to get them into the top 4, then he doesn't have a lot of time to do it. If his job is to absolutely, bring some progress and maybe get into the Europa League, then maybe that'll be enough. But if he doesn't move them from where they are, he'll probably just become another statistic at Chelsea and another manager. So it depends on what his remit is. I'm assuming they're bringing him in now to get them in the top 4, because that's what Abramovich is all about at the very least. And so he's got a tough job in his hands. He's going to have to figure out very quickly how he's going to play and who he wants to play in that system, and try and get some consistency with the lineup, which had been missing under Frank.
Yeah, well, time will tell, but the Thomas Tuchel era is underway. Chelsea starting their first game under the German manager with a 0-0 draw against Wolves.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.